Hello, thanks for checking out my YouTube video. This is Luke. Today is Sunday, December 18th, and we're going to talk about some music. Most importantly, the newest record, Alpenglow. Hopefully you can see that beautiful artwork. This record came out maybe a month ago. 10 songs on it, and then since I got the indie exclusive version, it came with this cool little 45. So there's a couple bonus songs, and how cool is this? The Coke bottle clear, 45 RPM. Side A is a song titled Na Na Na. It was written by Banjo Dave Carroll. I actually met Banjo Dave outside of the venue that they were playing in Omaha. They played Slowdown a few years back, and he was just hanging out, talking to another fan, and he's a really cool guy, really good banjo player. And on side B on that, cool little bonus, is a Lifetime to Find demo. So, and a Lifetime to Find is actually on this record. So the demo, a little different take on it. A little bit about A Lifetime to Find. That one opens up and it kind of reminds me of a song on Trampled by Turtles album, Stars and Satellites. And kind of opens up the same as Midnight on the Interstate. When I first heard A Lifetime to Find, I was like, it's got a little cool groove. Because I really, really like Stars and Satellites is probably my favorite album by Trampled by Turtles. I've been following them since they were supporting that. So about 2012, 10 years, something like that. I've seen Trampled by Turtles headline, and I've seen them open up for the Avett Brothers a couple times. So that was a real delight for me. And let me just show you this album. Like I said, this was the indie exclusive, so it was only available at cool record stores. And then you got that bonus. But it's really, really cool. I'm a fan of this Coke bottle clear vinyl pressing that some artists use. I just love colored vinyl and variants. Kind of makes it special. And this opens up. So it has all the lyrics to the songs, which I absolutely love. You know, as a kid, obviously cassettes were like the big thing, and then CDs came. But I always loved opening up the liner notes and reading that. So when digital music got so popular, 10, 15, 20 years ago, whatever that was, like you don't have that tangible touch. Like that's why I love vinyl. You actually get to hold, the music. And so anyway, so Trampled by Turtles, true string band out of Duluth, Minnesota. They got some really good albums. Love these guys. So Dave Carroll, he plays banjo vocals and the thumb piano. Dave Simonette, he's the lead vocalist. He plays the guitar. Eamon McLean, he's on the cello. So when I first started following Trampled by Turtles, they did not have a cello player. So they've added that, which is really cool. Eric Berry plays the mandolin, the mandola, and adds some vocals. So a little story, I saw Trampled by Turtles play, actually it was the first time I saw them play. It was in Omaha at the Waiting Room. Cool little, music venue. Maybe 700-800 people can fit in that, something like that. It's small. But there was an artist by the name of Joe Pug out of Chicago, and he was their opening act, and Eric came out, and he was standing next to the high school buddy that I went to the show with, Shane. He was standing next to Shane and I, and so I remember, I just think that, it was pretty cool that Eric came out to check out the supporting act, and he was just hanging out there with all of us, just like a regular fan. Ryan Young, he's on the fiddle, violin, viola, and vocals. Ryan is incredible, one of the best fiddle players out there. He can absolutely just slay the violin. Huge Ryan Young fan. And then Tim Saxhog, he's on the bass, and he does vocals. Tim's a cool dude. So I'm going to go into this record. It starts off with a song titled "It's So Hard to Hold On," and that's a good opening song. It's got a really cool, beat, and for a true string band, I mean, you don't really miss drums at all. And I know the banjo, some people, it's obviously a drum head with guitar strings, 5 strings, or 4.5, whatever you want to call it. I'm a huge fan of the banjo, always have been. Scott Avild's my favorite banjo player. But Banjo Dave's good. And so the first song that's so hard to hold on, Trampled by Turtles have a video on that, and it's really good. So there's like this motif. Dave Simonette, the lead singer, he actually has a band called Dead Man Winter, I think. And it's just him and his acoustic guitar. Dave's got a really cool vocal style to him. I don't know who I really compare him to. He's very unique. But I like how he can flow his lyrics and his words. He's got a special gift. And so the first song on this Alpenglow album, It's So Hard to Hold On To. It's great. I think it's well done. The second song is Starting Over, another upbeat song. I wouldn't say upbeat. Upbeat's probably not. It is if you take starting over as a positive thing, which I think it is. I've had to start over a few times in life, do a little reset. I think it's okay. I really like the song Starting Over. About 3/4 of the way through this, there is just a phenomenal string solo, and you really get to see the string band instruments really shine through. Starting Over is a really good song. The third song is called Central Hillside Blues, and when I first heard this album, that was my number 1 song on my first listen. That has since changed, but I still like Central Hillside Blues. The last verse, Dave Simonette talks about how they ripped up the streets in old Duluth, a violent reminder of an older truth. And so those lyrics are really special, I feel. I think regardless of where you live, you remember things, especially, when you're older like me, and you see how these little small towns have changed and kind of how you remember them. And then, the sobering truth that it's not coming back. This is how it's going to be. And so Central Hillside Blues is a fantastic ballad style song. On the Highway is the next song. It's not my favorite on here. Lyrics are pretty solid. Another upbeat song. A Lifetime to Find, like I mentioned, it was on that 45, the demo. And I said it kind of opens up like Midnight on the Interstate, kind of like when I first heard that song start, I was like, oh, this is going to be good. And it truly is. Talks about death. It's basically coming to grips with death. And I think the band does a phenomenal job with A Lifetime to Find. Lyrically, it's kind of heavy, but I like songs like that. Goes into Nothing But Blue Skies. Has a real beautiful opening. Like I said, a string band, these guys just know how to make good music, and you don't really need lyrics. But the lyrics add, I must say. Goes into Burlesque Desert Windows. That's a really fun song. Kind of old-timey. Really like that one. There's a lyric in here. It says, "Go on and tell me it ain't love as I wipe the tears right off the wall." So it's love, man, when you're wiping tears off your wall. It feels good to be in love. Kind of miss that. All the Good Times Are Gone. Really, really awesome banjo in that one. Banjo Dave does phenomenal. just a fun song, you know. Trampled by Turtles. Good stuff out of Minnesota. Goes into We're All Right, and that's like a waltz. That is a beautiful waltz. Old-timey. So as I read these lyrics on the back, it's just a reminder that we are all right. We're going to be all right. Even if we feel at times like we're not going to be all right, just give it some time. Those bad thoughts hopefully will disappear. So Dave Simonette sings towards the end of the song, he said, "I would quit right now if I had somewhere else to go, but I met you at the perfect time." And I think that's crucial. Timing is everything in life. And so I really like that pairing of lyrics. And then he says, "With a switchblade knife and some cheap red wine, I could love you, baby, till the wheels fall off, you know." Oh, those lyrics are just fascinating. Really like that song, We're All Right. Quitting is Rough is the second to last song on this Alpenglow album. And has a really cool cello violin opening. Like I said, the string instruments that this band plays, they do them justice. Huge fan of string bands, and Trampled by Turtles are at the top of my list. Quitting is Rough. Like I said, the cello and violin really shine in this one. You have to just give this album, a listen. He says, "Yeah, quitting is rough. You know it is. What's the point of any of this? Climb out, climb out, climb out." And, sometimes you got to quit to get ahead. But you need to think that through, always. Sometimes quitting's not the right answer. Sometimes it is. And then it finishes with The Party's Over. That has become my favorite song on this album. Dave has a special way of kind of painting this picture. Kind of talks about when he was a young man, at these smoky bar rooms playing, and how it's going to be real good just to see him again, So I imagine when he wrote that, COVID's been tough on everybody. The isolation and separation from friends and family. We're all kind of getting back in the groove again. And so I imagine, if you're an artist and you can't play, you're dying to get back on that stage. So I kind of like those lyrics. And then it's the last verse, once again, on this one that I love. He says, "I'll get us a taxi or an old wooden sailboat. Inside it's pouring, but outside it's fine." Oh man, that kind of speaks to maybe a little bit of depression. He's saying outside is beautiful, and inside, I presume, being holed up and maybe in his own head. He's saying it's pouring, but outside it's fine. And then he says, "The sweet breath of chicory in your light prairie garden. We were drunk on each other in Croatian wine." Love that. If you've been in love and been drunk on someone, like their love, their presence, there's no better feeling. And so I really like that lyric. And then he says, "The music remembers intelligent forces, the wet city sidewalk in June." Alpenglow, you gotta check it out. Stars and Satellites is still my favorite by Trampled by Turtles, and it might always remain that way. The Alpenglow is really glowing on me. I like it. I like it a lot. So, look at that cool poster, the Avett Brothers. That was my third show. Lincoln, Nebraska at the Pershing Auditorium. So my divorce had just been finalized. It was the first Avett Brothers show that I went to solo by myself. And so I was at the Pershing Auditorium. I remember as a kid when I liked, it used to be called WWF Wrestling, then it's now WWE. But I remember that they would always advertise, they'd come to the Pershing in Lincoln. And so I had this palace, envision. And it was kind of just an old rundown venue, but the Avett Brothers rocked that night. and I was on the rail, so I was right up front, and I needed that. I remember going through my divorce, and which is tough. It's if you've ever been through that, it's really hard. And so I went to that show, and the Avery Brothers made me feel better. It's kind of when I knew that, hey, I'm gonna follow these guys and try to catch them when they hit the Midwest. So that night, met some really cool people. And I will add that, so Lincoln, Nebraska is a college town, home to the Cornhuskers. And there were some really delicate moments where, and then there's YouTube videos if you go out and look. I think it's Murder in the City when Scott's singing that. And when Scott says, I wonder which brother is better. Someone, and it was quiet. I mean, you could hear a pin drop, and there's probably 4,000 or 5,000 people in that video that night. And then someone yelled out some profanity. And they did it when Seth Avett was singing, I think it was about Love and Hate, and you could tell he was getting really annoyed. But someone was getting married that night, or proposing, and so they had a sign and they held it up. And Seth and Scott, I think they came out in Encore and they played that song. That was a really good show. Bumped into a couple friends that I knew there, so it was kind of fun to see them, even though I went there by myself to that concert. But my favorite song that night, I know they did, Murder in the City was really good, with the exception of that profanity that the fan had to yell at the inappropriate time. But yeah, might have been Murder in the City. Just Scott did a really good job, and I was so close. I was so close to Scott and Seth when they were singing. And I had videos of it. It's probably on an old laptop somewhere, so I'd have to find them. But so that was show number 3 of the Avery Brothers. Fantastic. I want to talk about Mike Leach. So he passed away. Mike Leach was a phenomenal head football coach. He had stints at Texas Tech, and then he went to Washington State as their head coach, and then most recently he was at Mississippi State. So Mike Leach kind of went to places where no one wanted to coach, and he had success. He was able to recruit the right type of people. He had a brilliant, genius mind on offense. He invented the air raid offense, which a lot of pro teams in college use to this day. And he did that right here in Iowa. He coached at Mount Pleasant, Iowa. There's a good video of Mike Leach. So his team was, I think he was with Washington State at the time, and they were going to play Iowa State. So someone asked him, what he thought of Iowa, and he talks for about 2 minutes. But he said he loved Iowa. He said it was a captivating place to live. Late 80s is when he would have been like an assistant coach. And his brilliant offensive mind came up with this air raid to separate offense, spread the field, make the defense really puzzled on, are you going to run it? Are you going to pass it? Are you going to do, little wheel routes or what? So Mike Leach was brilliant. I absolutely loved his interviews. I have spent this past week since his passing just watching a lot of videos from him. He's got a good one where he talks about golf. He was on a trip with his brother and dad, and he said, of course, they always had their clubs in the trunk. Mike Leach hates golf, so if you want to get a laugh, go out to YouTube and maybe, I don't know what the search you would look, probably Mike Leach golf. Definitely check the Iowa one out. It's only 2 minutes. Mike Leach has a lot of love for Iowa, and I'm gonna miss Mike Leach. He was my favorite coach. I wish he would have came to Nebraska. His post-game interviews are phenomenal. Like I said, he was a genius, true genius. Love of pirates. His office was just had all kinds of pirate cool stuff, swords and treasures and Captain Hook and stuff like that. So I'm gonna miss Mike Leach. That was kind of a sad day for me when I found out he passed away suddenly. So I'm gonna so I ordered this album months ago, and it should be the Lumineers. I have not opened it. I just wanted to show you guys how well and sturdy vinyl gets shipped, because you can imagine stuff's getting tossed into bins as it traveled from. This one came from Washington, the state of Washington, to my house here in Villisca, Iowa. So vinyl is really, I mean, it's sturdy to begin with, you know, but to ship it and to make sure it arrives in one piece, I think they have this perfected. So I'm gonna open this up. It should be the Lumineers. Of course, you know, now that I'm doing this, it's probably gonna be like Barry Manilow that's inside. No, it is. All right, winner, winner, chicken dinner. So I've only seen the Lumineers once in concert. It was at the big venue in Omaha, and it was in support of their second album. But this is the 10-year anniversary of their debut, just the Lumineers album. And I ordered it, like I said, probably in April. A special edition 10-year anniversary. All songs, it says, have been remastered. Includes 6 songs on vinyl for the very first time. And it's pressed on 180 grams. So 180 grams is going to be really thick. I think the thickest one I have is 200 gram. I don't know if they make any thicker than that. But 180 gram is a solid pressing. And this is on black and grape Galaxy wax. So I'm going to open it up right here. I'm going to talk about, oh, it says made in Canada. All right, our friends up north. So there's 4 sides. There should be 2 records. So side 1 is Flowers in Your Hair, Classy Girls, Submarines, Dead Sea, and then their song that put the Lumineers on the map, Ho Hey. Very, very catchy tune. Side 2, Slow It Down, Stubborn Love. Fantastic love song. Love Stubborn Love. There was a Sporting Goods, I think it was Dick's Sporting Goods, had Stubborn Love, like showed like a kid playing baseball, if I remember right, like at a young age. And so Stubborn Love's good, man. Big Parade, Charlie Boy. Side 3 is Flapper Girl, Morning Song, Ain't Nobody's Problem, This Must Be the Place. Side 4, Eloise, Darlene, Slow It Down Live, and Scotland. And there's some really cool artwork down here at the bottom. Dual Tone is where I ordered this one. I don't know if it's available anymore or not, like I said. And the Lumineers have a ton of variants. I mean, if you were a collector of Lumineers stuff, you would have all kinds of records because of the same one, because they have a color for every color of the rainbow for each album, it seems like. But I'm excited to get this one. Like I said, I didn't have it on vinyl and been wanting to get it, and so it took me 10 years. So let's see what it looks like. That one looks pretty black to me. I don't see it marbled. It says black and grape. So maybe this one's black and the next one's grape. I guess we're gonna find out. That's certainly black. Cool, lyrics included. As I mentioned, I love kind of reading through this stuff. Oh, there's some cool artwork in here too. It looks like I'll have to take a peek at that later. So let's hope this one's grape. It certainly is grape. Now that is beauty. That one right there. That's gorgeous. That to me looks black and grape. Sometimes, you know, this vinyl, I got another record that was supposed to be colored and it just didn't come out. So I'm gonna see if I see any grape on this one. Oh boy, it's very faint. Yeah, they didn't add enough of the purple color. Purple and black is probably hard to blend, I would think. But anyway, I think I'll give this one a listen through. I know it's an old album, and I'll try to talk about it the next time that I do one of these videos. I'm really glad, if you made it this far, that you listened to me. Christmas is a week away. I'm wishing you all a happy Christmas, happy holidays. I'm going to try to do another one here soon, another video. I love talking about music. I love just talking about randomness. So, I'm going to keep at it. Had to put Bogey in his kennel in the other room, or else he would have been on this video. I started one, and Bogey was misbehaving, being very vocal. So, Bogey's doing good. My dog Bogey, he's the miniature schnauzer. Got groomed on Wednesday, so he's looking fresh. He's going to be fresh for Santa. He's been a good pup. So I wish you all well. I hope that you're doing fantastic things for Christmas. I hope you get to spend some time with friends and family, and that you get to connect. And be well. Take care.